listen, let me change the subject for a minute. What are you saying about the Twin Towers?
Yeah.
You think that was a hoax? That didn't happen?
Oh, it did not. Of course it happened.
Okay,
But the thing is, this right here is building number 7. There were 3 buildings that fell in New York City in 9/11. Right?
Okay, well, we could talk all day, and
Well, you asked me a question. You want the answer?
Well, that's not an answer. You didn't give me an answer.
He didn't.
I didn't finish. Hello there, Patriots. All right, so what am I going to attract out there? A lot of other people that like to blab a lot. Yeah. So what do we have is a guy that's got his own talk show radio. Everybody's got a talk show radio these days, huh? Yeah, for Yahoo, the internet, huh? Every swinging dick. So anyway, we got this one guy. He's got his talk show radio and comes up, likes what it starts. We start. What do we start doing? Talking. And he says he has, he's sort of centralist. Well, we know that's bullshit. This guy's he leans a bit left. He is centrist on some things, but when it came to Trump, the guy was nowhere near as you can tell. It's not. Trump wasn't his flavor. So at any rate, we covered a lot of subjects here, everything from global warming to abortion to tax cuts to, we talked. It was a talk. It was a talk. So you know what you do. If you like this kind of talk, you go ahead and subscribe, and then you share, and you like, and then you go buy and buy. Not like go buy, but go buy something, okay? Yeah. Or hit the subscribe star button and badass Uncle Sam. And I need some. I need some patrons, pal. Please hurry up. Come on, you guys. Almost 11,000 subscribers. I'd like to have at least 50 patrons if I could. So subscribestar.com, badass Uncle Sam, hit a level and donate something once a month. $5 ain't much to ask. So if you like what you hear and you see, go ahead and do that. If you can't do anything else, pray for me. Let's get on the streets. On radio or TV or both? Radio. Radio? Mm-hmm. What's the name of your
show? Real Radio. Stands for Radio Established to Address Life.
Great. And what are the topics you normally discuss?
Life. So everything. We have a political tilt, but we talk about everything.
This is sort of like a talk show radio without the walls.
I'm seeing. That's why I walked over. I'm seeing.
Glad to have you come by. My guests or anybody that walks up,
I'm trying to read this.
Interesting. Well, it's my work. It's what I do. I like to spur conversation with my work. I was writing for a newspaper here called New Orleans Levy. We don't hold anything back. It was a political satirical rag, and I actually got politicians afraid of me, so I loved it. So I say, let me take it out to the street and see what happens. And
planes, 3 buildings. Do the math.
You know what that refers to? As you can see, I don't shy away from controversy.
Not at all. Love Trump's hate. Yeah.
So do you remain neutral in your talk, or are you...
as neutral as I possibly can.
And personally, how do you feel?
More centric than anything. There are There are certain conservative policies that I totally agree with. Certain liberal policies I totally agree with. So I'm more centric than anything. You know, I don't believe in the death penalty because the death penalty doesn't solve anything. It's not that I don't believe that someone should die. It's just, what does it solve?
Well, indeed, and I think
What crime does it cure?
indeed, I agree with you, and I think it might be even a harder punishment to have them remain alive in confinement.
Correct. Correct. And then, well, easier punishment than having them remain alive. Right.
Yeah, but harder on them for sure.
Right. And then, as far as Alabama, the abortion law. Personally, don't believe in abortion. However, that's your choice. That's your body. I can't tell you to have a child. I shouldn't be able to legislate you to have a child if you choose not to have it.
Yeah, but when you say that, I would draw the line when you say the word child. Because when you say the word child, that means you're referring to a person. And so when you refer to a person, that means, well, you know, how do you say I'm going to eliminate that person's life?
Same way you say you're going to give someone death penalty. Death is death, either way, either the beginning or the end.
Yeah, but one's for committing a crime. The child didn't commit any crime. The child didn't.
But a crime could have been committed against you. You could have been raped. You could have.
Yeah, but that's not the child's fault.
This is true.
So, you know, it's like the child is innocent. The killer is guilty. So the person would be, you know, put to death or assigned to death. You know, well, keep them alive. I'd say keep them alive because I think life in prison is a harsher punishment for that. But a child is innocent. When you say the word child, then you're bringing life. You're saying you're making that entity a person. It's not an embryo. It's not. You're saying a child. Mm-hmm. So that child has its own self-identity and it's innocent.
The child has no self-identity as of yet. It's not born.
Yeah, but
it's not even self-aware.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, they have been.
Then we can argue that infinitively.
Well, no, they've done the studies to show that.
Who's they?
The scientists. I mean,
which scientists? On which side?
Children dream. They've shown that children dream. That and then there's always the argument of, well, when does life begin? You know, at the moment of conception, heartbeat, on and on and on. I argue that it begins at the moment of conception.
Okay,
but. Again, it's always that innocence part, and you know that I would say there are waiting lists for people who would like to adopt.
Right.
So I don't see the argument for abortion, at all.
You don't have to. Yeah. We can respectfully disagree.
Yeah, indeed. But
I believe that though as evolved as we are all still animalistic in nature. And animals kill their young if they're not suited. We're no different. The only difference is we have independence.
Well, we are,
and we can think at a higher level. That's it.
We communicate and
don't do that because we're not sure how other animals communicate.
Well,
and
we communicate at a higher level, as you just brought up.
Well,
but we also have.
In our understanding,
can animals contemplate their existence, their future? I
think they do. I mean, shit, you got turtles that swim thousands of miles every year to lay eggs. I mean, that's kind of
but that's survival. I don't think they contemplate, how did we get here? But they're not philosophizing as far as we know.
Okay. Again, we can respectfully do because you say survival. One could view survival the same as contemplate. Well, this is the safest place for me to have my child to ensure that my DNA is passed then forward.
Yeah.
It could be the same difference.
But getting back to the Alabama abortion thing, I think that's a kind of like a pushback from the infanticide that the left has come out with. I mean, when they start saying, the baby's born, then we're going to have a discussion whether we want to keep it alive or not. Because I've run into a lot of liberals that wait a second, I believe in abortion, but that's going a little bit too far.
Right.
So I think that Alabama thing is a pushback from,
But it's all a state ploy to get the Supreme Court. And I don't think Tom Roberts is going to do it. I think people are overplaying what Chief Justice Roberts is really about. I really do. And I think it's going to be their demise. He has proven to more so than not be a centrist versus rightist or leftist.
Yeah.
He's really moved the court and controlled the court to like, yo, we're not doing this yet. This is not where we are. So I understand with Trump's latest appointment that folks feel emboldened to make these choices right now. I think Pence is moving that needle a lot. I believe McConnell is moving that needle a lot. That's why he's going at a feverish pitch to fill as many open benches as he possibly can. Because he too is wondering if Trump is going to be victorious in 2020, which I think is more in jeopardy than anyone really believes. And it's not in jeopardy because of the piss poor job that he has or has not done. It's in jeopardy because I think the country is just simply ready for a change. Period. He came in with this big picture of I'm going to change, I'm going to change, I'm going to change, and he really hasn't done that. You know, infrastructure is still is on the table. It hasn't gone anywhere. What deal has he made since he's been president?
Well, I would argue back on that when we talk about the deep state, when we talk about the establishment, you understand that he wasn't supposed to be there at all.
No, it was Obama. When Obama got things done.
No. I would, again, argue that, because I go into the deeper, bigger picture on this. When you look at the people behind the scene, and I will go to the Bilderberg Group, I will go to the Club of Rome, I would go to to the deep state, the real deep state.
I would counter with the Couch Brothers. That's the deep state.
Yeah, they're a cog in the wheel, but they're only one cog in the wheel. When you start talking about the Bilderberg Group, you're talking about the top 120 movers shakers in the world.
Okay.
So when they meet once a year in secret locations, I mean, even it's like Obama and Clinton disappeared for 4 days when they were running against one another for the first time when he was running, and when they were in the Virginia area or the Maryland area. They disappeared for 4 days. Where are they? Where's Obama? Where's Clinton? Everybody was looking for him.
For what?
They went to the Bilderberg Group.
Okay, but why would everyone looking for him? For what?
Because they were on the campaign trail.
Okay, but you don't deserve a break. You don't deserve a break. You don't deserve a break.
And it wasn't just a break.
Trump didn't take a break.
Obama actually.
Trump didn't take a break.
Took a head fake with the.
Trump didn't take a break. There was every day you saw Trump on a campaign trail.
But he didn't go to the Bilderberg Group along with Clinton.
Yeah, he wouldn't have
sit down with the movers and shakers behind closed doors.
He wouldn't have been with Putin. You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But again, going back to the fact that Trump wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be Clinton against Bush. Okay. During that last 16 election.
Okay.
Trump came in out of, because the people, because I'm out here in the street, this is where I'm getting my stuff like you get it from your talk show radio.
Yes, sir. You mind if I?
No. And the people were just going, look, enough of the politicians.
Mm-hmm. Right, they wanted something.
And if I had a nickel for every time I heard.
But has he delivered? Has he delivered?
I think he's still, yes.
What has he delivered different? What one solitary thing has he delivered different? One concrete thing.
Well, one, the tax cuts.
Okay. Who was that for, though? That wasn't for you and I. So that's nothing
again, I would beg to differ because I've talked to people out. Again, I'm only getting from the people out here.
You.
Yes. And I'm talking to people out here. I'm talking about everyday working people that have benefited from tax cuts. Businessmen that have benefited from it. Because they've been allowed to expand and hire more people. If their taxes are cut, they can put more money back into their business and they've been able to hire more people.
Where has that been proven in any jobs report that's been released? The job number has stayed consistent. We have not had a huge spike in jobs. So where has that occurred?
We've got the lowest unemployment.
We've had the lowest.
We got a 400% increase in black small businesses. We have had money thrown into the economic zones. I've talked to just regular working people who are seeing $40, $50 more in their paycheck.
$40, $50 is peanuts.
But not if you're.
Hold on. With the cost of inflation is still happening.
It's better than nothing.
Okay, but the cost of inflation is not keeping pace. So let's talk about, you said more jobs. Let's talk about the carrier workers that lost their job in Ohio. Let's talk about the auto workers that lost their jobs in Indiana. Let's also talk about
Let's talk about the steel workers that have come back. Let's talk about.
You're talking 300.
Let's talk about the coal workers that have come back.
We've had a huge spike.
Let's talk about the fact that we now are an exporter, the largest exporter of natural gas and oil.
Already been happening. That's already been happening.
Again, I'm only talking to the people that work in the fields out here that have told me that they're just booming right now.
Really?
Yes. I mean, why would they lie to me? As I said, I'm out here talking to them.
You got to travel. You got to get out of here. Because it's
why they're coming by me and talking to me. Why do I need to you don't want to take your radio show on the program? They call in and tell you what's going on.
I'm on the road all the time.
All right, fine. But then I'm out here talking to people from around the world, and they're telling me. And I ask them. I mean, what business am I? What are the first two questions I ask? Where are you from? And what do you do? So when they tell me what they do, I say, "How's business?" Boom, and they tell me. Now I've heard pros and cons. I've heard them, but for the most part,
retail's dying.
Well,
the trucking industry is dying.
Well, retail's dying because of the
trucking industry is dying.
Amazon. I mean, we can, everything's online.
The trucking industry is dying.
Yeah, because of again, we're looking at automation in that sense.
Automation that's taking over the trucking industry.
Well, then how do things get delivered? I mean, Amazon's delivering all over the place.
That's the huge game changer. Amazon is a huge game changer. Yeah. But the trucking industry is dying.
But I would argue that the pushback from the deep state.
Ford just laid off 7,000
Let me give you an example. What has this Congress done other than investigate Trump? What have they passed?
I'm sorry. It's still a Republican-controlled Congress. Because the Republicans, what are you shivering at? Because the Republicans control the Senate. And you and I know civics. Whoever controls the Senate, controls Congress.
The bills start in Congress, and they haven't done crap. All they've done is investigate Trump, and I'm like, my question.
That's all they've done?
What does? Name one bill they brought up other than the Green New Deal, which is absolutely insane.
The Green New Deal has not been proposed as a bill.
It was, and it was voted down.
When?
It was voted down 57 to nothing.
57 to nothing.
Yeah, they brought it up.
There are over 100 members.
Yeah, because all the Democrats abstained. They didn't want to go on record because they voted for that stupid thing. Do you believe in global warming?
Yes, I do.
Man-made global warming.
No, man-made. It's not man-made global warming.
Yeah.
Global warming is global warming.
Oh, yeah. Climate change.
But the planet has gone through several different.
Thank you. But so the whole hoax of using CO2 as a political tool to control us is a very liberal thing. In other words, they're the ones that want the carbon taxes and to eliminate our ability to have use our energy use because of our carbon footprint. Well, excuse me, but CO2 is a natural element of life.
Yeah, but at the level that it's being put back into the atmosphere, that's not natural.
Bullshit. I would say bullshit for this reason, if I may. I helped start the Institute for Environmental Alternatives in 1971 with Professor Ron Cohen, and lived for 3 years with scientists studying this very thing. Most people don't know the answer to this question. I've even asked students of the environment how much CO2 is in the atmosphere right now.
I'm sorry, did you have a question?
No, I'm just listening.
How much CO2 is in the atmosphere right now?
I don't know.
You see, now if there's too much of it, we should know that basic thing. It is a trace element. It is 0.04%. It's been that way for a long time. So it's a trace element. One volcano spews out more CO2 than man has put into the atmosphere since the beginning of time. We are like a flea fart on the back of a dog.
So you're saying there's no climate change going on in this country?
Climate change is always going on, but it's not man-made. Now, I would argue
How is it
that
being
It's
made?
not about man-made.
How is it being made?
Is it
then?
an accelerant? Is man an accelerant? Climate change is natural. The question now is,
until now, because I
We're
would give you this
spewing-
is a beard, and I'm going to lay
Right.
something on you.
and that's my argument.
I'm going to lay something on you
I'm
that,
listening.
that few people know about, but it's right in your face. You look up on that right now, the history of climate and weather modification, and you will see documentation.
I'm sorry. I'm talking.
No, I'm listening.
I'm listening.
Yeah, you will see documentation going back to 1891 of both government and private industry on the control of the weather and climate. President Eisenhower in 1954 started the Department of Weather and Climate Modification. Ben Livingston, Lieutenant Ben Livingston, became known as the father of weather weapons. We used weather weapons in Vietnam from 68 to 72. When that was found out, the UN passed the UN Weather Weapons Treaty ban. Now, why would we ban something we don't have? We have weather weapons. So these things exist. We have been trying to manipulate the weather for a long time. But in order to cover that up, they use the beard of us being the problem. So if
got
there
you.
are changes or anomalies in the weather,
Yes, sir.
they blame us and not the fact that the military and private organizations have been manipulating the weather and climate. Right now, you can get on your phone, you can hire a private company. So to not make it rain on your wedding day, it might cost you $250,000, but you can do it.
Listen, let me change the subject for a minute. What are you saying about the Twin Towers?
Yeah.
You think that was a hoax? That didn't happen?
Oh, it did not. Of course it happened. But
you
the
got-
thing is, this right here is building number 7. There were 3 buildings that fell in New York City in 9/11. Right?
Okay, well, we could talk all day, and you know.
Well, you asked me a question. You want
Yeah.
the answer?
Well, that's not an answer. You didn't give me an answer.
He didn't.
I
Even
didn't finish. I know. How you doing?
I apologize, but you didn't even finish.
I know.
But this is what my show is about. by the way.
Indeed, I appreciate it. I mean, that's great. You know, give me the call letter so I can listen in.
Okay.
What are the call letters? You can just mention them because I'm
I'm on a TuneIn app. I'm on a TuneIn app. Yep, it's a podcast. I'm on the TuneIn app.
Okay.
It's called Real Radio, and that stands for Radio Established to Address Life. I'm live Saturday mornings, your time, 10 a.m. until 12 p.m.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'm on the YouTube.
Okay.
On the back of this get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
Thank you.
And this is what I like to do: come out here and have these kind of conversations and broadcast them. And hopefully we can, you know, because we need the dialogue. We don't need to be yelling at one another.
Not at all.
We need to.
And we can respectfully disagree.
Yes, absolutely.
We can respectfully
I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, because I can learn from you as you can learn from me. I would ask you to look up the history of climate and weather
I'm
modification
going to do it right now.
and see the programs that we have had going on for a long time. And as I said, they use the whole climate change.
I'm doing it. I'm not ignoring you.
Yeah, they use the whole climate change hoax thing as a beard to hide that. Dennis Kucinich,
Climate, you said the history of climate change and
the history of weather and climate modification. Dennis Kucinich presented a bill to stop the funding of chemtrails when he was in office. So chemtrails, of course, is part of the geoengineering program that is ongoing.
Yes.
This is affecting our weather. But why, and here's the question,
Well,
if these programs exist, which they do, why are they never mentioned in any climate change article or debate?
Because we're the United States of America, there's certain things.
But they're worldwide. I mean,
But-
China even went ahead and bragged about making it snow.
But here's the other thing. The chemtrails are also part and parcel to national security. Excuse me. Greatest university in the world, sir. Greatest university in the world. Absolutely. Supposedly, there are chemicals being released that block the satellites from other spying.
Yeah, there have been. I mean, there have been certain I don't want to say excuses, but explanations
Right.
for it. Radio wave bouncing
Right.
off,
Right.
satellite,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
I'm sorry, not to go too far down that hole though. So we were talking earlier, we were talking about, you said something about, what did you say? And I was like, we don't make anything. The military, and my point with that was one of the reasons our defense budget is so high because we don't make anything. And because we don't make anything, the only way we get to flex our muscle and keep our position in the world is through our military.
Oh, yeah,
If
we're
we
a war
get back-
economy.
Right. If we get back to making something,
Oh, yeah.
again, then we can flex that muscle.
I
and then
absolutely
put
agree with you,
pressure
100%.
on nations like China.
Yeah.
Nations like, entities like
We make up enemies.
Right.
I mean, that's
Right,
what
'cause we don't-
we were. What was the talk before that? A peace dividend. Remember, we were at peace.
Right.
Oh, it was a peace dividend. What are we going to do with all this peace?
Right.
Well, the military
We're talking about
industrial
drawing
complex
enemy,
can't have
That
peace.
Nope.
Yeah, don't make any money.
Nope. That doesn't make any money at all.
So I mean,
And the sad thing is, death is good.
well for them.
Death is great business.
Yeah, for
Death
them.
is great business.
So this lie that we've been going through. Now, one of the things that Trump said when he was campaigning that made me go, what? And this is a quote. You elect me president, you will find out who really brought down the Twin Towers. Now, he knows because the day after 9/11, they did an interview with him. And because, he builds buildings in New York City, right? And he was in this interview, he says, look, there's something very wrong here. I build buildings. Buildings do not come down
Not like that at all.
So he knows.
At all.
He knows. He knows.
At all.
He knows.
Great to meet you, man.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
My young friend.
Yeah, it's a
Thank
pleasure.
you so much.
Thank you very much.
Take
sir.
care. Thank you.
How'd you like it? Did you like that talk? The talk. Did you know what to do? So again, it's subscribestar.com, and then you go and just type in search Badass Uncle Sam, and then you hit a tier. Or you can go to badassunclesam.threadless.com and get one of my designs. Okay? God bless you. Pray for me. See you on the street.